Atlas Lithium is a U.S. mineral exploration company operating the largest hard rock lithium project in Brazil. It's seen its stock skyrocket at 35% since its listing, and its estimated market cap of $80 million is following suit as well. The company is only one of a few publicly listed lithium companies in this space. So with me is the CEO, Mark Fogassa, CEO and chairman as well. So welcome, great to have you here. And let's just talk about Atlas Lithium in general. You're well positioned in a market that seems like it's growing a lot of demand in the future. How describe the company?
Absolutely. So it's an exciting situation because, and I've never seen this in my business career, where buyers of lithium are calling us to secure product. And these are large companies, multi-billion-dollar companies reaching out to us. An example which is a company called Mitsui, which is one of the biggest companies in Japan. They reached out to me last year. And it's a funny story because I said, look, I can't travel. I am really tied up on my NASDAQ uplisting. And they said, no problem, we'll fly to you.
Okay.
So they came to LA, they met with me. And out of that, we evolved into a memorandum of understanding, an MOU, worth $65 million to Atlas, which at that time was greater than our market cap, which will, upon execution, provided funding for our plant that we want to construct to be able to process our ore that has lithium into a product called lithium concentrate. Then Mitsui will have the right to buy our production at market price. And so that's the type of situation that you don't see very often in business, where a buyer reaches out to a mineral exploration company and says, when can you get the product? Right?
And then comes and signs an MOU and is ready to do business. Do you attribute that to just this global interest in electrification of vehicles?
Absolutely.
So you've really got, I mean, all this kind of tailwind behind you.
Absolutely. Like it's a wave, and I'm personally extremely happy that we are in the sector, because I think we do need to get away from fossil fuels. And as you know, Jane, California a few months ago passed legislation that prohibits companies from selling fossil fuel powered cars in California starting 2035. And then New York State followed suit with a similar law. And now New Jersey did the same thing. The European Union did the same thing. So these are huge markets where you won't be able to sell a gasoline car starting 2035. So you absolutely have to build EVs, right? And each and every EV takes at least 9 kilograms of lithium in their batteries. That's where we come to play. So we're really blessed to be helping the electrification of the world, you know, and getting away from pollutants such as fossil fuels.
Yeah, and it feels like the growth is just tremendous ahead, because you mentioned a few states, but it feels like there's going to be more coming on board in the coming years.
Without a question. Yeah, the genie is not going back in the bottle. The change to EVs is here to stay.
Now, you also have some early stage projects that you're 100% ownership of. Describe that.
Sure.
Is that also is that a venture for you, or how does that work?
We own 100% of everything. We are a little bit of a control freak company. We like ownership. And so we have 100% of our lithium projects. And so today, we have 304 square kilometers of lithium projects that we own in Brazil. We are the #1 company with hard rock lithium projects in that country. We also have 222 square kilometers of nickel projects. And then we have titanium, rare earths, and graphite. So much so that collection of assets, which we call the battery metals portfolio that we have, has attracted interest of some top-tier investment banks. I'm sure you would recognize, reaching out to a small company like us. Again, so it's an interesting situation where you have a company like Mitsui calling us, and then you have a $100 billion investment banking calling us because of our portfolio of assets in battery metals.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the rare earth metals too. That's also an area that is getting a lot more interest.
It is. It's a geopolitically sensitive area because today China dominates that market. They do have the technology to process rare earths. The U.S. is trying to catch up. We're an American company. And so we intend to do a lot more with that project as we go go along, including the fact that NASDAQ allows us to be able to capitalize ourselves a lot better.
Right. So going public, you're able to raise that money, and that helps you grow and network and things like that. Now, explain the process of the lithium mine. Like, what's the supply chain like?
Sure.
Yeah.
So in our situation, what we are doing today, Jane, is we're drilling. We have 5 drills today drilling our property 24/7, essentially, every day. And then we're getting 2 more drills. We announced that, possibly more. And what we're doing in geology terms is delineating our resource, meaning identifying how many millions of tons of lithium we have. That's one thing we have to do. In parallel with that, we are undergoing metallurgical studies with our ore. And those, I can say, have been very positive so that we can be certain to be able to produce that product, which is the initial product in the chain, which is the lithium concentrate, right? So we'll be, within a few years, probably 1 to 2 years, sellers of lithium concentrate, right? With lithium concentrate, a company can then make lithium hydroxide that goes into a battery, or lithium carbonate that goes into a battery, right? So we are a little further from the battery, but we are an essential commodity to get to the lithium for the battery.
I see. So kind of the raw material. That's
the raw
needed
material, a
to
bit
produce
processed.
that. Yeah.
And so what we're doing, it has very little technology risk. And we have what's called hard rock lithium. So I want to make sure your audience appreciates the fact that there are 2 types of lithium company. One is a brine company. So you find brine in Argentina, Bolivia, and Chile. Brazil does not have brine. Thank God. Brine is we believe to have impurities that prevent it to be as attractive as
Difficult
lithium
to process.
Yes,
Okay.
it's harder to process. It's more expensive to process. All the smart money, meaning all the car companies that call us, Mitsui and other companies like that, are flocking into hard rock lithium. Now, there's only, I think, 10 companies like us. Obviously, some companies are very large, like Sigma. Sigma is next door to us. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, extremely well run. Piedmont is another company that is in hard rock lithium in the US, well run as well. And so we're blessed to have hard rock properties that are located in one of the premier places in the world.
Okay. Now, you mentioned you're operating in Brazil. I know Nevada has some lithium deposits, right? Is there any plans to expand to the U.S. or any other countries?
As you have appreciated now, I have an accent. I'm from Brazil originally. I was born and raised there. And so we have a great team in Brazil that understands the culture, the laws. We have a great network. And so we're quite happy with Brazil. We think that Brazil is a very easy jurisdiction to be part of for us in particular. The mining laws are solid. We understand what it takes to be permitted. We have had no problems in getting permits that we needed. And you also hear about Nevada situations where it takes 10 years to get a permit because of concerns from the environmental front, which are rightly so to exist. But we think Brazil is a little easier, and we know Brazil inside out.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for this fascinating industry to watch, an emerging industry, and congratulations on your IPO as well.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.